Hey, what's going on, guys? Gonna go over our quick little setup of the mats and the decoder for the finish line. So right now, this is our timing vehicle, and typically at this point, we would have already set up the tent, the table, pulled the vehicle underneath, strapped the tent into the vehicle, put a sandbag up, have the inverter, but we're not gonna worry about that. For the time being, we're gonna pretend like this cone right here is the finish line. So that point right here, the runners are going to be coming at me this way. They're going to be finishing with the chute. We're going to have our flags over here. Even if they tell you the road's closed, the first thing you want to do is you want to put out cones to not let anyone drive over what you're about to do. So you've got your cones all set up. You want to set up the mats before you turn the decoder on, unless you're in a real rush for time. Depending on the weather, will change whether or not take the wires, put this down, and depending on the weather will be depending on whether or not you really have this tucked under the table or you just have it under the tent. But either way, remember, a 4-meter mat, you can have this much, you could even have this much fully under the tent. Don't worry about having it fully out there. If it's a big enough race where we need all 4 meters, you'll know what to do in that point. But in this instance, make sure that the tent is over at least a portion of the mats and certainly over the decoder. And if it's going to be bad weather, you're going to want to put the table over that. Now, after I fold out the first portion, what I'm going to do, keep this here, I'm going to slide this forward right there. I'm now going to pull the second portion over. I'm going to slide this forward. I'm going to slide this forward. I'm now going to do the final fourth portion. I'm going to slide this forward, lift it up. You shouldn't have to force anything. You should wiggle it in. It's fine to use your feet, but you shouldn't have to force anything. Bring this forward, put it in. Bring this forward, put it in. Come over here, coaxial cables. Doesn't matter which one you hook it up to. Can be any single one. There's no order. But once again, you shouldn't have to force any of this. If there's dirt in it, blow it out, but it should slide in and then go. There's a little entry area here. You just put it on hook, put it on hook. I've got all 8 on. Press the on button. All right, at this point, the tent is over at least this portion of the mat. You have this underneath the tent. If you have to redo the setup right now, that's fine. If you did this first thing before you did the tent, that's fine. Just make sure no vehicles can go over it. I'll even come out here at this point, put one at the end, put one here, and put one here until the race starts to make it really difficult and obvious that cars are not supposed to go over this. If a vehicle has to, you can slide them if need be. If a vehicle absolutely does have to go over it, try to have them go over it slowly, but you should be able to move these in and out if need be. And the other thing too is, later on, after about 40 minutes into a 5K, 45 minutes into a 5K, I'll actually put out a cone in the middle, because that's when vehicles will think they can drive through as the numbers get a little bit slower. So this is going to be booting up over here. I press the on button. This is going to do 3 things. 1, it's going to turn it on and go to GPS. 2, it's going to find a cellular connection. And 3, it's going to activate, which means it's going to start reading right off the bat. So we'll go over all of that in a separate video, but at this point, it's all rocking and rolling.